Hey guys, this is Algebra Lesson 2.1. The title of this lesson is Adding Rational Numbers. So write this in your notebook, Adding Rational Numbers. We're going to have 5 new vocabulary words. So the first 3 are key concepts. So write these on the top of your notes. The first one is the identity property of addition. This one's super simple. Anytime you add 0 to anything, you're going to get that same number. So for every real number n plus 0 equals n. The next one is the inverse property of addition. If I add the same number, like a 5 and a negative 5, if I add the additive inverse, I'm always going to get 0. So 7 plus 17 plus negative 17 is 0. Pretty simple. Those should just be reviews. Now, these are also a review, but hopefully you remember them because they're really good rules to know. So adding numbers with the same sign, whenever I add 2 numbers with the same sign, like 2 plus 6, I always get a positive 8 because 2 is positive and 6 is positive. If I add negative 2 and negative 6, I'm going to get negative 8. So what you do is the rule. It says to add 2 numbers with the same sign, add their absolute values, and the sum is the same sign. So you keep the sign. Add and keep. Now, adding numbers with different signs. This one is a little bit different. First, you subtract. You take the difference of their absolute values, and you keep the sign of the larger number. So if I look at these 2 numbers, if I look at their absolute values, it's a 2 and a 6. So I'm going to subtract them. 6 minus 2, which is 4. And then I keep the sign of the larger number. Well, between 2 and 6, the 6 is larger, and that's positive. So my answer is positive. If I look at this one, my absolute value of 2 is 2, and the absolute value of negative 6 is 6. 6 minus 2, I subtract again, is 4. But my larger number is 6, which is negative. So therefore, my answer is negative 4. All right. A new student just added to our class. You want to show this new student how to find the sum of the following. How would you do this? By using a number line. So in the textbook, they want you to be able to visually represent how to do this on a number line. So it's pretty simple. You start at this number, which is 3. Start at the first number, and then I'm going to add negative 5. Well, we know on a number line, if I add, I go to the right. If I subtract, I go to the left. So this is adding a negative 5, which is really subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my answer is negative 2. So negative 3 plus 5, I'm going to start at negative 3, and I'm going to add 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my answer is positive 2. So this is how you can visually represent it. And then here I'm going to start at negative 3, and I'm going to subtract 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my answer is negative 8. All right. So check your skills. Let m equal negative 7.1 and evaluate these expressions. So push pause in the video and try these problems. You can use a calculator. Okay, first one. Negative 7.1 minus 4.3 is negative 11.4. Negative 2 minus 7.1 is negative 9.1. 8.5 plus a negative m. If I have a negative 7.1, that becomes a positive. So I'm going to do 8.5 plus 7.1, which is 15.6. Negative, this would be negative and then negative 7.1 because remember m, if I put in m, I have to put in this whole piece. So the negative stays, and then I put in negative 7.1. So that is 7.1 plus 7.49, which equals 14.59. E, if I do negative 7.1 and I square it, sometimes on your calculator you're going to get a negative answer. However, we know if I did negative 7.1 times negative 7.1, it's always positive. A negative times a negative is always a positive. So you can't rely on your calculator to always just shoot out the right answer. You have to use your brain. So this one is negative m, and then it's in parentheses and it's squared. So that means negative 7.1 and then square it. Well, if I have two negatives, that becomes a positive, so my answer is 50.41. Now this one means do my parentheses first, square 7.1, negative 7.1, which becomes positive, but then add on this negative after. So that one is negative 50.41. All right, something new this year that you're going to learn is these matrices. So here's the next two vocabulary words, matrix and element. So a matrix is a rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns, similar to a table, which we've all seen a ton of times. The plural of matrix is matrices. The matrix below shows the data in the table. So they took this table and they made it into a matrix. Okay, so you identify the size of a matrix by the number of rows and the number of columns. The matrix above has 3 rows and 2 columns. So the rows go this way and the columns go this way. Matrices are equal if the elements in corresponding positions are equal. So if you notice here, negative 1 and negative 1 are the same, so therefore that is equal. This goes with this. 2 goes with 4 divided by 2, which is 2. 4 goes with 20 over 5, which is 4, and 0 goes with 0. So you pair up the matrix with the same number that's in the same spot. You add matrices that are the same size by adding those same elements. So here is an example. What is a matrix? So you've already written that down. Find the sum. So see how this has an addition sign here. What they want us to do is add the numbers that are in the same place and make it into one matrix. So 5 plus negative 9 is negative 4. 3.2 plus negative 1.7 is 1.5. And negative 4.9 plus negative 11.1 is negative 16. So what you end up with is 3 answers in one matrix. So try this one. It's a little bit different because there are 4 numbers in 4 different positions. So what you can do, if you need to, draw the arrows, and that's how you're going to add them. And look at the sign. See how it's addition? So try this. So negative 4 plus negative 5 is negative 9. 7/8 minus 0.75 or 3/4 is 0.125. 3/4 plus 1/2 is 1.25. And 0 plus negative 1 is negative 1. All right, that is it for your notes for 2.1.